Sup Stealthers, Sneaky here, and I am a Skylanders fan. Bet you never would have guessed. You see, I've been a fan of the series ever since Giants, and I don't usually tell people that unless I want to get crucified. The year was 2013, a year remembered for a new pope being ushered in, and the Philippines getting a bit more rain than expected. But for me, 2013 has one thing I remember the most. Besides that. No, for me it was Skylanders, specifically Skylanders Giants for the Wii, because at the time, it was the only thing that existed to play video games. Video games? Is it a movie or a game? What the hell is it? Now, I wouldn't have heard of this game from something like the internet, because I barely used it back then, and if I did use it, I would be doing other things. But the first time I was ever exposed to a Skylanders game was when I was at a friend's birthday party. Hey man, happy birthday!
You're correct.
So, we got another 46 minutes till cake. What do you want to do?
Well, we could not play with these.
Oh cool, what are these? Matters of dihexylphenolate?
Better. These are Skylanders.
What do they do? Fall from the sky?
Maybe?
That's so cool. Can I eat them?
I don't think so.
Unless discovered, you can't.
Oh, that sucks.
No, that's really suffocating.
Well, you play a game with them.
Like Angry Birds?
Sort of, but not like that.
Aw, I really wanted to throw something.
Well, you put them on a portal.
Something like this?
Even better.
Thus, I ate cake, and after that, my friend received his gift, and I got to play Skylanders for the very first time.
Here. You're gonna have your mind blown.
Isn't that what a fan is for? Holy crap, did you just press a button? Holy crap, did that thing just laugh and jump away from words? Holy shit, is that a logo?
So, is this cool or what?
Well, I'm cool, but I don't know about the game. Yeah, it's cool.
Well, well, look what we have here. Mighty Skylanders.
That's the bad guy. In the last game, we banished him to Earth. That's why he's in the toy store and talking to the Skylander figures.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just schizophrenic.
Greetings, Portal Master.
Oh, cool. I'm a master at something.
And now you have found a giant, which is why I have sought you out.
Wait. That's a giant? Looks small to me.
Dude, shut up and watch this. Don't shame them for their size.
Now, place one of your Skylanders on the Portal of Power.
Alright, it's finally time to use these pieces of hexabromocyclododecane.
Hawk and door!
Now it's your turn.
I shaved the dog.
Come on, you can do this. Just put him on the portal.
I picked up the figure that my friend told me to get. I placed him down, and...
Be afraid of the dark!
I became a god. I was also hooked on the series afterwards.
Hunter, you gotta say goodbye. Your friends gotta go.
Shut the up! After I left his house, Skylanders was the only thing on my mind. Just like basic necessities of life. Water, food, air. I was telling my friends, family, basically everyone I knew. And I guess I couldn't stop talking about it because 2 weeks later, I received a starter pack for Skylanders Giants on the Wii. So this is what I was fixated on for weeks. Oh yeah, I've also been diagnosed with this crazy condition as well. I mean, look at the box art. Everyone's here. Trevenant, Golurk, Magmortar. See, I know my Pokemon. Inside the starter pack, we have the game, the portal, a poster that's definitely been through war and back, and of course, the figures, those being T-Rex, Jetvac, and Series 2 Cinder. What the hell's a series? And then it was time for me to finally go on my very own Skylanders journey. Well, really, I should say my parents went on their own Skylanders journey because I didn't want to play it. I don't know what it was with me back then, but for whatever reason, I never wanted to play video games and instead would just watch others play them. I guess it was just the trauma from using tilt controls in Mario Kart Wii. Come on! Son of a bitch! I would never stop begging my parents to play this game with me. But one thing I also kept doing was ask them for more Skylanders. You see, while having the 3 that came in the starter pack is great and all, it wasn't the massive collection my friend had. And so came the seemingly endless stream of Skylanders. I swear, I got 2, 3, maybe even 5 of these things a week from people like my mom, dad, grandma, aunt, and many other members of my family because it was all I cared about. I remember being at my grandparents' house and my grandma just coming back with Lightcore Eruptor. Because you never know when the power's gonna go out. I remember this other time when I was in a mall with my parents and I went into GameStop and picked up the triple pack with Series 2 Drill Sergeant, Prism Break, and Lightning Rod. And I couldn't wait to get home, so I opened them up at the store and now I don't have the stickers on my poster. I remember going into Walmart, picking up groceries with my mom, and then finding the triple pack that contained Flashwing, Series 2 Gilgrunt, and Trigger Happy. And she had to pick it up because it was the only one there, and that definitely made her thrilled. But on the topic of Walmart, there was one thing that my friend always had over me, and that was molten hot dog. Not regular hot dog, molten hot dog. It's a literal lava dog. How much more molten can this thing get? Wait, that's molten hot dog? It looks like mustard. Oh, wait. Hot dog? I get it now, because it's a play on corn dog. But no matter how much my friend bragged about his molten hot dog, I got Nagini the day she released, so ha! I was so obsessed over Skylanders that for my kindergarten graduation, yes, I am young, any gift I received had to be Skylanders related. Hell, everything I owned was Skylanders related. Skylander hats, Skylanders backpacks, Skylanders curtains, underwear. Any form of matter I owned had to be Skylanders related. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it. No thanks. And it was around this time when I started getting more access to the internet. So, more time to look at Skylander stuff. Specifically Skylander videos on YouTube. I guess this was my parents' way of stopping me from talking about Skylanders all day, and instead kept me in my own little world. And it wouldn't take long until I saw the announcement for the next Skylanders game. Holy shit! I can give birth and bring death! It's a dream come true! And just like that, for the next 3 months, I would be talking about nothing but Skylander Swap Force. The Giants were nothing compared to these guys. I mean, since when could you take the top off a giant? So when I saw that you could take the new characters, swap their bodies in any way you wanted, and play as that creation in game, I was shocked. To this day, the idea still intrigues me, and while I know how it works now, and I know how the game is able to do what it does, I still feel a sense of wonder whenever I swap a Skylander.
Another smash hit.
Ooh, I did a thing. But that's me talking from the perspective of now. What about 11 years ago, before the game came out? Well, I reacted in the best way possible. And then 2 months later, the game came out. And I never got it. You see, I bitched enough to get Giants, but Swap Force was the new game at the time, and Christmas was only 2 months away. So I was told that I would get the game, but I would have to wait till Christmas. 2 months? Are you kidding me? That's light years away! If I don't get the game now, I'm not gonna be cool! You know what? If you don't give me the game right now, I'm gonna go to Bon Jovi down the road. Oh, please, Mr. Bon Jovi, please give me the game. I promise I'll have fun with it, I swear! It's my game. So that meant I had to wait the light years little kid me thought 2 months were gonna take. But there was no way my parents were gonna shut me up about the game until I got it. So to tie me over for a bit, my parents said that I could get one Skylander of choice from that game per month. Now that did actually work, but don't worry, my eyes were still on the game. No, they're not. My eyes are on the prize. I swear that wasn't there. Given the knowledge that I could get one per month, I immediately went to GameStop, Florida Edition, and looked at all the cool, amazing, green packages that the Skylanders were boxed in. I remember just seeing these giant displays of Swap Force figures thinking, which one will be the first? Which one will be my first Skylander to come home with me for this new era that I am about to end? I bought the f***ing snake! Yes, my first Skylander from Swap Force was Rattleshake, and I bought him first because he looked cool? I don't know. I'll be honest, I have no idea why I bought him first. I had like no connection to him for the first few years, and in my eyes, he was a pretty nothing character. I didn't even care about his variant quick draw Rattleshake either. I mean, come on, what's so special about him? Eclo! Wait, didn't Scott DeWaz already make that joke? Nowadays, I use him a lot, and I think he's a pretty solid Skylander. But still to this day, I'm trying to figure out why I didn't get a Skylander like Magna Charge instead. I mean, back then, I loved him, and he was the only Wave 1 Swap Force figure that I didn't have at the time, and I didn't have him for 7 years later. And then when I got him, do you like him? No. But I think the main reason why I got him was for this. Oh my god, that's how it works? This was weird to my 6-year-old brain because you see, I thought that they just magically fused together. Which is stupid because how the hell would that work? Either way, it was still keeping me hyped for when I got home. And then I realized I couldn't use him for another month. And so I waited and waited and waited until it was time for a new Skylander. Oh boy, new Skylander! Now this time, I wouldn't be in store to pick it out, and instead I would be home calling my parents. Owl. Of the enchanted variety. Yep, the next Skylander I got was Enchanted Hoot Loop. Why? Because he looked cool. Did you use him? No. Yeah, I didn't really care for Hoot Loop. I just wanted his variant because I thought it was going to be rare, and the prices don't lie. It's not. But then the time came, Christmas of 2013, or as I call it, Skylander Day, bitches! So, I opened all my presents as quickly as possible, trying to find the starter pack, but there was no luck. I couldn't find it. That was until my mom decided to fuel the fire in the winter. I need more fuel. I received so many Skylanders for Christmas, to the point where it felt like my collection doubled. Now, it's time I talk about the game itself, and I got my copy on the Wii, and I was feeling brave, and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna play it all by myself.
Silent but deadly.
Well, it doesn't look as good as the gameplay videos I've seen. But those are videos. I'm sure they probably edit them to make them look better. Let's play the game. Jesus Christ! Okay, I'll admit, it kind of looks like ass. But come on, it can't be that bad. Here, let's try playing with one of the new Swap Force figures.
Legs and no pegs.
Okay, call it plagiarism, but
This game blows.
this was my first impression of the game, aside from a few videos I watched leading up to this moment. So to be greeted by this felt kinda, well,
Kind of felt something like this.
but that was the graphical side of things. What about the game?
This used to be my least favorite game in the series.
Okay, so we all know that the Wii was never the most powerful console, and that the only reason Giants was on the Wii was because it was built off the original game Spyro's Adventure, which was originally meant to be a Wii exclusive before Nintendo declined the offer.
Bet they regret that decision.
So for Giants looking good on the Wii was to be expected. Swap Force, however, was meant to be a launch title for the Xbox One and the PS4. You know, the new gen consoles at the time. So the Wii was never in the question. But you want to know why they put it on the Wii? Yup, that would explain it. The Wii is where Skylanders thrived. It had been the console that had sold the most copies of a new game. So for Activision not to put it on the Wii just would have been a very bad idea on their part. They would have lost so much money in sales because of that. And to sum it up in a few words,
We would have made less money and we're so desperate.
so this version was made for the parents and kids who didn't know any better. And because of that, I feel a lot of kids like myself at the time lost interest in the series afterwards because
The game just had awkward controls, terrible graphics, low quality sounds. I've heard lots of stories over the years of people dropping the series after this game. And just to clear the air a little bit,
It's funny.
Swap Force is not a bad game. You just need to play the right version, which most kids didn't have the ability to. So they moved on and stopped buying Skylanders moving forward.
But not me though, I didn't care.
Yeah, when it came to me, I bought way more figures this time compared to Giants. For Christmas alone, I received pretty much all of Wave 1 except for Magna Charge, as said previously, and the Tower of Time Adventure Pack for a little while. I would follow release dates for when the new figures would come out. I would check every store I went to for Skylanders. Hell, I remember buying Doomstone at Costco. Wait, Doomstone? Doomstone. Like that Doomstone? Yes, that Doomstone. And I got him at Costco!
Oh, they agree with me.
And I never fully realized how rare he was for a little while.
But it doesn't matter, because I have him, so ha!
I find that I have a lot more memories about Swap Force than Giants overall, which is weird because I played Giants more and I preferred that game a lot more than Swap Force at the time.
But as time moves on, I'll just forget more and more until I can't even remember my own name.
Maybe it had to do with me using the internet more at the time, or maybe it was because my brain wasn't fully developed enough.
But joke's on them, because it still isn't. Hello? Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Perfect. Thank you. I just got a call from my doctor saying that my brain is actually really developed, but only for Skylanders knowledge. So, in other words, I'm a true virgin.
But nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever compare to when I first found out about the 4th Skylanders game, Skylanders Trap Team. And I was all there for it. I was there watching videos online for when they announced the game at E3.
Gone from us too soon.
I watched the E3 video, and I was foaming at the mouth the whole time. I was hyped as shit for this, as in my eyes, this was pretty much a national event. And when I saw the trailer, I was...
I've run out of words. Horny. Hey, there are some people that think that according to my studies. My eyes hurt.
Skylanders Trap Team was full of... And I'm not gonna go in depth about the trailer, but it stars these two kids who snoop around their grandparents' attic and find the Skylanders figures up there. Reminds me of my first job. They discover a box of crystals up there which are called traps, and you'll never guess what they do.
It's frozen laundry detergent.
The new gimmick of this game was trapping villains and letting you play as them. Now, that was really cool to me. The commercials kept saying stuff like you were giving life to the toy, and as if I didn't feel like God already, I do now. And I was way more hyped for this over Swap Force. And remember the 1 month rule? Well, that rule was out of the question when it came to this game. I received the Nightmare Express Adventure Pack and 3 traps for the time being, and I would lose those traps for a few months until the next Christmas when we were doing some light cleaning. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I was excited, okay? And when Christmas time came, I got a lot of figures yet again, all ranging from different sizes. Big figs, small figs, shit figs, good figs. And I was given the ability to play on much more powerful hardware, because for that Christmas, I got the Xbox One. Yeah, I had no attachment to Xbox or Microsoft, but my mom just thought,
He looks like he likes boxes of the X variety.
so I got an Xbox to play Trap Team, and thank God, because the game also released on the Wii. And...
Soda! I must have soda!
Yeah, I dodged a bullet there.
the only thing I had to do before playing the game was set up the console, which was not a small ask and some words were said, but afterwards, I popped the game in and I couldn't put the controller down. Until I realized that I never got any traps for Christmas, and I couldn't trap 93% of the trappable villains in the game. Yeah, I didn't receive a single trap, and as said before, I lost the 3 traps that I had gotten for my birthday. So I could only trap 1 water villain and 1 life villain. So I decided to take a bit of a break until I got more traps. And that break only lasted 1 day because I loved this game. So what if I couldn't use the main gimmick of this game? I loved everything about it. I couldn't drop it. I finished the game within 5 days. Yeah, that's the quickest I've ever finished a Skylanders game. Now, yes, the game is not perfect, and I do see those issues now, but at the time, this was the best thing man had ever created.
Thanks, God.
I consider this to be my favorite game in the series.
Oh, that's where the noise was coming from.
I know the game has its issues, but the stories, visuals, the characters, it's all really good. But that price, oh no, now that is I don't mean that the game is expensive, but everything around it was. The Skylanders, the traps, the big characters this time around, or the Trap Masters as they were called, were very expensive, coming in at around 15 USD per piece, and the traps were about 7 USD. And this game had the most Skylanders to buy for it compared to all the other games in the series. And it was the most expensive! I never took notice of any of these things, however, and I was instead focused on trying to complete my collection as much as possible. Yeah, who cares if it's gonna make me homeless? I gotta get Blackout!
I sold everything. But at least I have this.
I was super excited for the new Light and Dark elements when they were announced. I got both the Light and Dark expansion pack a week after they came out. I also got... And I also found... So yeah, I got a few traps, and I was finally able to use the main gimmick of the game. And then, it was that time. A new Skylanders game was about to be announced, and the reveal was...
But these new guys...
Well, it was something. The 5th game in the series, titled Skylanders Superchargers, is something. The main gimmick of this game was cars. Oh, I'm sorry. Vehicles for land, sea, and sky. See, I had to emphasize that because in every promotional video they screamed it at you, and man, was it annoying. And this is when I realized, okay, something is happening. This is when I realized that all of my friends were starting to lose interest in the series, and many didn't buy or play the game after Trap Team. I started asking, is the end near?
It's time for a new game.
No,
Come on, don't struggle.
But nonetheless, I was still super hyped for this game. However, when it came out, I wasn't freaking out about getting a Skylander every month before I got the game. Instead, I would just call up one of my parents and ask,
Hi, instead of an owl, can this time you buy me an eagle? But it's not actually an eagle, it's like a helicopter plane combination sort of things that Skylander can fly in. You know, you use it, it's like, and I was wondering if you get, hello? Must have bad reception.
I got the Jetstream vehicle and it was cool, I guess. I don't know, man. Honestly, I just heard these things had movable parts and I wanted to check it out.
Yeah. This is fun.
Okay, I'll cut Superchargers some slack. This is interesting, and they do make for a fun toy, but I kinda thought that the gimmick was boring for this game. Like, we came from big guys to swapping guys to trapping guys to riding guys. Wait, but I was still excited nonetheless. I just wasn't like,
Oh my god! Oh, what the fuck?
Now, after I got the Jetstream, I wanted to get another vehicle of another terrain variety, and I decided I wanted the Sea Shadow. Wow, was this stupid! I'm sorry to any Sea Shadow enjoyers out there, but this is just not my thing. I remember buying this and just thinking, why? It had no movable parts and it doesn't even look that great. So I never really had any attachment to this vehicle, and I still really don't. I proceeded to wait for the game, and I didn't have to wait long because a month later, this time around, I didn't get the normal starter pack, but instead, I got the Dark Edition starter pack. For those unaware, the Dark Edition starter packs were introduced in Swap Force, and they were a more special version of the normal starter pack, I guess. They were exclusive of GameStop, so I guess it was for the real gamers, when in actuality, I only ever see families go there with their kids. Each Dark Edition starter pack would usually come with extra things compared to the regular starter pack, and it would contain a special variant of the Skylander that's included in the normal starter pack. In this starter pack, I got Dark Spitfire, Dark Super Shot Stealth Elf,
Ew.
Dark Hot Streak, a Chaos Trophy. I'll get into what that does sometime in the future. And the Dark Sea Shadow. God damn it, I didn't want that. I actually ended up getting a pretty decent amount of Skylanders. I even got the Christmas variant this time around, Mistletoe Dive Clops. Yeah, they make a Christmas variant every year as well, just to get that extra bit of holiday dollars. I actually ended up getting half the Skylanders I could, but I think that was due to both Wave 1 and Wave 2 coming out on the same day as the game. I will still never understand why they chose to do that. The original schedule had worked fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the same thing I've said about my ceiling fan for the last 2 years. Sure, I can't turn it on because the ceiling fan pull string is missing to turn on the fan, but it's still there. There were also fewer Skylanders this time around compared to Trap Team, with only 20 Skylanders in total. There were also 20 vehicles as well, but that's still less than Trap Team. And with Wave 3 releasing in November of 2015, it meant I had over half the Superchargers roster. So because of that, I don't really have any memories of shopping for new figures, but I have a lot of memories from Christmas of that year, that's for sure. Unlike the previous year where I had to wait to open up a new console and set it up, instead I popped the disc in and I was greeted by a download screen. And back then, our internet wasn't great, and it still isn't. So while I waited, I decided to open up all the other figures I got. And one that stood out to me in particular was Dive Clops. Not the Christmas one, the normal one. I don't know why, but he always just looked really cool to me. Yeah, I know he's not that great, but come on, look at him. He's just a Cyclops who goes ocean diving, and he's really jolly about that. And his Christmas variant only proves that more. His vehicle is stupid, and so is its variant. I don't know what it is about the dive bomber, but I've just never liked this vehicle. It's fun to turn the propeller though. And the Easter variant, it doesn't even make sense. It was released with egg-sighted Thrillipede. Now how does that make any sense? I understand that Dive Clops already got a variant and that you couldn't make another one from, but they could have at least made them match. Like, why couldn't they do an Easter variant of the Buzzwing? It would have made way more sense. I mean, yeah, what does a bug have to do with Easter? Well, I got an even better one. What does a submarine have to do with Easter?
This is still the stupidest decision they have ever made. Oh, look, a new Skylanders announcement.
Yep, the 6th game in the series was announced to a rousing crowd of... It has Crash Bandicoot. And they're remaking the first 3 Crash games.
Yeah! Yeah! Woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby! Yeah!
Yeah, there was absolutely no hype whatsoever for this game. Even my friend, who was the whole reason I got into this franchise, decided to move on and drop the series around this time. Skylanders Imaginators was the new title of this game, and it featured Crash Bandicoot. And yeah, I think they chose the worst time to reveal this game, because the people in the crowd did not want to see Skylanders. They were here for Crash. Now, I was more like...
Who's Crash?
I was only there for Skylanders, on the other hand, and when it was revealed, I was actually excited for this one. The gimmick this time around was getting to create your very own Skylander. Wait, what? Yeah, I heard this, and I was actually intrigued. Getting to make my own characters?
It's a dream come true! Now I really get to play God and create my own thing.
Being able to create my own Skylander is an awesome idea. So how did they f it up? Creating a Skylander is so boring. And yes, there are a lot of character options to create your own Skylander, but it gets repetitive after a while, and not to mention there are barely any customizations in the game at the start, unless you A, continue the game, which, yeah, that makes sense, but most of the chests you receive in-game for completing levels, defeating bosses, and using new Skylanders, yes, certain items can only be unlocked via Skylanders being placed on the portal, which gives you items very slowly, and I don't mean... I mean you have to put hours into the game just to get all the character customizations, unless you decide to pay for random loot chests in the game to quickly get customizations. This game has microtransactions! But that's a story for another game. How did my experience with this game feel? Well, I was in the good old US of A, specifically Florida around this time, and it was Black Friday, so I decided to go to Target, Florida edition, and I was told that the new Skylanders were in the men's clothing department of all places. I guess that means this game is for big boys. I walked down to where they said they were, and all the new figures were there, and I was stoked.
Ha! I found a new word.
These new characters were so much more detailed compared to the older characters. They were so big, had amazing paint jobs, and they just look cool in general with the shininess of them, and they were so expensive! These figures are so big, and they had a big price tag on them too. But I didn't care. I wanted these new characters so badly. So I asked my parents if they could buy me the new Skylanders in the US, which USD is worth more than CAD. So that meant they were even more expensive than they already were. But I saw the Portal Owners Pack for the game, and I thought, being a stupid 9-year-old, oh, it's just a normal starter pack, but cheaper. But I never thought, why is it cheaper? And the reason for that is because it didn't come with a portal, which, no biggie. But it never came with the 2 starter pack Skylanders either, Golden Queen and Kingpin. So I never had those figures for a few years. But it didn't matter. I got this! A creation crystal. This is what's used to make your very own Skylander. But I didn't care about that. I wanted all the other figures on the shelf. I was picking up each figure off the shelf, and I threw them in my cart as quick as possible. Except for Mr. Cat. I didn't get him. I don't know why, but I didn't pick up Mr. Cat. Maybe I missed him, or maybe I didn't like him. Either way, as of the making of this video, I still don't have him. He's one of only 4 Skylanders I still don't have in my base collection. But I did get Solar Flare Aurora, which was a Black Friday variant that was exclusive to Target, which meant it was exclusive in the US. So I was pretty lucky to get that. But I also have Pink Barbella. That's right, the Pink Barbella that, according to Crash the Skylands, is the most expensive Skylander figure that is publicly available. And I opened it.
Number 1 is the Pink Barbella.
Now, I was a stupid 9-year-old kid, so can you really hate me?
Yes.
My parents said that in order to bring these home, I had to open up each one so that they would fit in the suitcase. Now, I didn't know this was a chase variant. I didn't know that this would be one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I didn't know how valuable it was going to be. I didn't know that I would never get Mr. Cat for years to come. I didn't know that I'd be making a video crying about this for a long time. I didn't know it.
But that was the shopping trip. When I got home a month later, for Christmas! Oh, no. You stay there.
Once again, I got almost all of the Wave 1 and Wave 2 Skylanders for the game, only missing a few characters. And I actually really enjoyed this game. I played the first 2 levels that day, I played the 3rd level the next day, but as time went on, I played more of this game, and I began to dislike it more and more, and I felt just overwhelming sadness. This game is what told me that Skylanders was coming to an end, and when I heard that there would be no new game the following year, I was left with so many questions. Why did it fail? How did it fail? What happened to this game series I used to love? I had so many questions and barely any answers until years later, after I had kinda grown out of the series. I was still buying Skylanders from secondhand sellers, and I would still revisit some of the games from time to time, but aside from those small things, I had pretty much forgotten about Skylanders. That was, however, until 2020. Now, yes, I know, this was a bad year, and don't worry, it was a bad year for me too. But I had a lot of spare time on my hands to do whatever I wanted to do, and one night, while perusing on the good old internet, I thought,
I wonder if there are people out there who still make Skylander videos.
And as luck would have it, I found a bunch of videos from all sorts of creators, but there was one that stuck out to me the most. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. But there was also another channel that I seen around this time, and that was a channel by the name of Crash the Skylands. This man right here is the real reason as to why I am here today, and if it wasn't for him, I probably would have lost all these figures to something like yard sales or the basement. I binged the hell out of his videos, and I watched all episodes of his first ever original lock, the Dragon Lock, which is an amazing series, by the way. You should all go check it out. Thank you. This was actually the first time I had ever heard of a Skylanders lock before, so watching this really had me thinking about the series again. But it also made me realize...
Oh shit! I never played Spyro's Adventure.
This also made me realize that I had almost every Skylander for SSA. So I decided to revisit the series, play through all the games again, check places like Facebook Marketplace for listings, and try to finish my Skylanders collection. It made me feel so nostalgic for the series, and after months of searching Facebook and going through several sellers, I was able to finally finish my Skylanders Spyro's Adventure collection with all 36 figures, and man did it feel nice. I've as well finished my Swap Force collection as well, and I've also gotten a bunch of rare Skylanders, including Robo. Yeah, that Robo, the one that cost my entire college fund, and I got him for $5! There is one major thing I got that was Skylanders related at the time, and that was Skylanders Spyro's Adventure for the Wii. But Cameron, why didn't you get the game on something more powerful, like the Xbox 360, the PS3, or even the Japanese Wii U version? Well, young child, this game was originally planned to be a Wii exclusive, as I have mentioned already. So it was much better to play on the Wii, as the controls, graphics, etc. are so much more better. Take that back, a bunch of SSA fans say, but I don't care. It's a good game no matter what version you play. But side tangent put to the side, let's talk about Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. I got this game for $20 along with Whamshell for an extra $5. And like I said already, I had all 32 of the original figures for this game already before I had even played the game. Now, I was missing a few variants, but honestly, I'm glad I never picked some of them up, because...
It's crunch time.
Oh! It wouldn't have mattered.
This was my first time actually playing SSA, and I had a lot of options as to who I wanted to play as first, and that choice was given to me at the very start of the game. Man, which one? There's so many figures. Who do I choose to be my first one?
I chose the purple thing.
Okay, look, I might not be the biggest fan of Spyro, but when this game came out, he was usually the first one players chose, unless they were savages. So I thought it was only fitting, even though he ain't compared to Wrecking Ball. So after level 1, I didn't touch Spyro for the whole night until I beat the game.
Notice what I just said.
I didn't touch Spyro for the whole night until I beat the game.
What do you think I meant by that?
You didn't touch Spyro?
Well, yeah, but what else?
You swallow gum? No, I pulled an all-nighter just to beat this game. And I'm not talking about going through the levels just to beat them. No, I went to as many secret areas as possible, trying to collect as many collectibles as possible, and then playing all the extra levels as well. Because don't forget, boys and theys, I had every base figure for the game. So, because I had the level packs, I thought, might as well play these too! I loved playing this game. The thrill I got from finding secrets I didn't know about to finally understanding why Chaos has schizophrenia in the next game. I had so much fun with this game, and I could not put down the controller. From 8 o'clock in the night to 7 o'clock in the morning, I was playing this game, and it reignited a flame in me. It made me feel something different that I haven't felt in a few years.
Oh, wow. So when are you gonna get a girlfriend?
When I can use Tinder.
And to answer what I was saying previously, I was really happy to be playing this game. I was thrilled to have had the chance to have as many figures as I had. I was grateful to be able to finally play all the main series games. And I was grateful that I was finally able to play this game. And I knew that this would control my life for years to come.
I created a monster, cause nobody wants to see Cameron no more. They want Sneaky, I'm stuck with them. Well, if you want Sneaky, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard tramping. The Skylanders will jumpstart my heart.
I, Cameron Bursey, am now no longer able to mention the name of Marshall Mathers, Eminem, ever again in any of my videos. I cannot joke or parody any of his songs unless given the right to by the original owner due to copyright laws. Well, that only gives me more time to talk about Skylanders!